Hello, it's Susan at Seaside Stitches, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to anyone who has liked, subscribed or left me a comment. I love it when you leave a comment. So thank you very much for being there. And yes, I'm going to start with, it's been a bit of a week, a bit of a 2 weeks. I'm not going into all that, but I'm just going to start with what I'm wearing. And this was my upcycle challenge that I was going to put in for Karen at So Little Time and Becky at Notes in a Sewing Room, when they did an upcycle challenge. I think it was about October and I didn't get it finished. Well, actually I'd done it, but I hadn't got anything to use as sleeves. I'd made it from a pleated skirt that I bought from a charity shop in Morecambe for £1, and it was, to me, it was like cruise wear, maybe about 20 years ago. And it was very a fitted skirt at the top went into pleats, and obviously in this fabric. And the way I did it, I just managed to have enough to make the top the frill, and I made the frill from the existing hem, part of the existing hem, things like that. But then I didn't have enough to make the sleeves unless I unpicked the pleats, and every time I'd started to do that, I ended up with lots of pinholes, lots of needle holes through it. And actually I'll put some pictures in just to show you, but yes, there still are those. But I abandoned the idea of pulling all the pleats out to use as fabric. And so you couldn't use anything that was, I don't know what the word is, new to you, existing fabric, unless it was you were upcycling some curtains or something like that. So if you've got any fabric from another thing that was being upcycled, you could use that, but not a few scraps that you already had from a previous project, however long ago. So that's how I interpreted it. I think that's how it was. And so I just didn't have anything for the sleeves. I found some purple I can't even say it, purple poly cotton curtains that I bought from a charity shop that had been brand new, and I had put them through the wash, but they had left so much dye on the colour sheet that I was just really worried about using them. And then I washed them again and they did just the same thing, so I thought I'll just not bother submitting it. So that was my decision. Don't bother submitting it. And over time I've worked out that if I went through the bits of fabric that were left, see, obviously there were only these bits of fabric left after I'd taken the pleats out, that I couldn't really do anything with those. But the actual anyway, never mind, that's what's left of it now. Might get a headband out of it, yeah. So anyway, I did sit and took all the stitching out of all the what are the knife pleats, I can't remember, where they're all sewn in about that far down, like pin tucks but giant. And I unpicked all those, and yes, there are little kind of thread holes along it, but I found I had enough to move about a bit and get the sleeves out of it. So over the last couple of months, or since Christmas anyway, I've finished it. And it was just like, this is so mad, why would I want it anyway? And I'm not sure about the sagebrush top, or I wasn't, but anyway, I finished it anyway. And I don't like it unless once I got the idea that if I put it on with something like this, it might give it some impact. I love it now. I just feel like this is me. Nice, quiet, just gentle, relaxed, serene Susan. Not all blue, but yes, I'm all blue. So I will put some photographs in. I took some this morning. We had a little bit of sunshine earlier on. When I went out to do it with this, the sunshine had gone. And of course the sun's gone in now, but an upcycled skirt into a sagebrush top. But never mind, I went into the trees and took a photo of it. and a little bit of footage with me being rather silly. So I think this challenge was October 2021. It was an upcycling challenge, and I upcycled a skirt that I got from a charity shop for £1 and made this absolutely beautiful. I think it's really, well, it's a bit fruity, isn't it? It's, well, can you guess? It's a sagebrush top, FridayPatternCompany, and I'm really pleased. Yes, as you can see, I'm a bit hyper. What have I got to tell you about sewing? Not a great deal. I did finish the Camden Pinafore just as I was about to video the last but one video when I couldn't come on because I hadn't been well, and it's still not the best fit, but that's as far as I need to go with it, because I'm going to hopefully alter the pattern in the way I've learnt because of how the fit isn't quite right, if that makes sense, to make a purple needle cord pinafore. And I will do that as it's meant to be and line it and everything. I didn't line this one. In the end, I gave that up and I just bound the edges. I'm really proud of the effort I made, just not exactly the right fit. But I did finish the Seaside. I'm looking beyond the camera here. So if I look down, I'm looking at it because the back of it's on a chair. I have taken photos and I'll pop a photo in. Or what I usually do is put the photos in and they just cover me talking. I'm just talking while there's a photo going past rather than me being here and I put a photo here or I put a photo there. So I may have turned into a photograph, but I'm still speaking. Another finished blouse. Yes. Seaside stitches. It's going to be one of those videos, sorry. Anyway, I will also put in a photo of what is cut out on my table, because I am intending to complete the challenge for Sew Yellow for Endo, hashtag Sew Yellow for Endo, which is Jess's amazing challenge where she has been, as usual, very robust in trying to get the message out about menstrual health and the difficulties that so many women face, and their difficulties can get just minimised by the medical profession, can be minimised just as, well, it's period pain, what can you expect? And she's had quite a number of events where she's spoken to a consultant. She's speaking to people again like she did last year, with people who have it and what kind of treatments they've had, and it's a very, very individual journey, but it's very worth finding out more about. And just the challenge itself is you make something in yellow with yellow in it, something that has yellow as some sort of factor in the make, to bring awareness, a kind of a sunny awareness as well, of we need to do something about this, and it's bright and it's cheery, and we want that for ourselves, people who are suffering from it. So I have got a make in progress. You make something with yellow accent, something that is representative of hashtag Sew Yellow for Endo 23, and you submit it on Instagram. There are prizes. They're done as a draw. It isn't about a competition. You don't have to be the best one or the one that gets the most likes or anything like that. It's a very fair, randomised way of selecting winners. And there are a number of really quite well-known sponsors who are sponsoring prizes. And I'm not one of the official vloggers, and there are loads. If you just put in that hashtag Sew Yellow for Endo, you will find lots of vloggers who are explaining what the situation is. But the main thing for me is that you learn a little bit more about endometriosis and you share that just as a phrase or a sentence. You put your make on Instagram with that little sentence. You are asked to donate £1 to the Just Giving page that Jess has on her channel. If you want to give more, you can do. what she's hoping for this year. I think the first year raised about £800. I may be wrong about that, but I think she's hoping that this year, if it gets to £1,000 over the 3 years that she's done it, then there will have been £3,000 raised from this wonderful sewing community towards more research or more development of knowledge about endometriosis. So if you only want to just donate £1, that's amazing. If you don't want to donate, you don't have to donate, but that is the request that is put out there for you. So the closing date for that is the 25th of March. Now I think that is on Saturday, but I may be wrong. I often am. So please just check. Jess's channel is So What If I Sew? So What If I Sew? Right, that's that bit. On my table there are 2 other things that are hoping to be finished for Sew Frugal 23. There are umpteen videos about that already. I don't need to go into it, except that you use fabric from your stash so that you're being frugal. You use a free pattern that you have obtained from somewhere that anyone else can obtain that free pattern from. I think there's too many froms there, but that's it. It can't be a pattern that's free in a magazine. And the other thing is you share that on Instagram on the 31st of March, and you tag in the people who are running it are Ruan from Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam from Frugalissima, and you have to tag them in your post and put on hashtag SewFrugal23. You don't need to donate any money for that, and the people who are in the vlog tour, they are sharing free patterns online that you can download for free. And what I noticed was the fold line that I do actually support with a lot of my purchases. They are offering AO printing, and there is 20% off until the 31st on anything. Doesn't have to be a free pattern, anything, and multiple orders. So I have had 5 things printed, only 3 of which were for the Sew Frugal, and I can't remember. Print 20. I think if you go on their website it will explain what the deal is, but when you get to the checkout I think you add as a coupon Print 20. The offer will be finished on the 31st of March. So if you have any AO printing that you need to get done, please just look those details up. Right, I'm not affiliated. I'm affiliated with no one. I mentioned in my last video that I had put some buttonholes in and even put some buttons on this shirt that I finally finished in the week, because I also put I put the sleeve in, I put the cuff on, I put the sleeve in, and I put the buttons on. Now you may notice that the buttons I have on here don't match exactly with the buttons I have on here, and that's because I happily saw that I had 8 buttons and I put 6 buttons on the shirt, and then I realised that actually I needed 2 buttons on each cuff, and I didn't have any other matching navy buttons, and I went to the shop where I got them, I don't know, 2, maybe longer than that, years ago, and they didn't have any. But I did have some of these, and so I'm quite happy with that, because it matches quite fine. I'm happy with it, and it's just a bit of fun. So there you go. And my intention is mostly to wear it with the Camden pinafore. So on Saturday last week, just a little bit of life, but it also leads back into sewing, strangely. On Saturday last week, I'm a member of a community samba band, and we do drumming for good causes and to raise awareness that changes need to be made in certain areas. So So we we were invited to open a vegan fair, and the vegan fair it's an annual event in Wigan, and there is this amazing little place. It looks like it's been a school, like a very small infant school or something at one point. It may not have been, I don't know what it's been, but they have it as a library, and they've created this library called Upcycle. So you donate books, people donate books, and there is a system within which they get sorted, and they're on shelves just like a library. Also, it's really quite moving. So I've just, as I say, this is the third time I've been to the place, and it's just, the atmosphere is lovely. It's set out so there will be like children's corner and things like that. There's lots and lots of children's books. There are sets of computers that I'm assuming the community can come in and use, as you could in a library. And it just is an awesome place. So they are always raising money and raising awareness for that. That's the kind of thing we drum for, to raise awareness of something that's enhancing the community. So anyway, this vegan fair was also in that spot. And so, as we've done before, we were invited to open it. So really, we're a bit of a noisy opening act, because all we've got is a little bit of green grass outside this building, and people are still trying to set up or trying to sell raffle tickets or engage someone in a tombola for the hospice or whatever it is. So there's lots of stalls. There was a vegan store. There was an organic gardening stall. People had made crafts from to recycle things. And I'm going to pop in a little video that was done by the team that organised the drumming in the first place. So I might be going on a bit much here, but I'll try and trim it down so that you don't get the whole thing. But the drumming group was set up to enhance people's mental health. It was started 2 or 3 years, I think, before the pandemic. So it wasn't specifically for that. But people in low mood or not getting out and not engaging with people, they were invited to see if they would like to be part of a community that drums and does good things and heightens awareness of things. And from there it started, as far as I understand. We weren't in right at the beginning. And I don't need to go into the story of how we joined and all that, because that's about that and not about sewing. So anyway, we did this. We opened the show, if you like, as a group of community drummers. We are very open to, if anyone in the crowd or the vicinity wants to have a go on a drum, then even though we might be performing, if we have someone who has learning disabilities or children who are taking an interest, we're quite happy to move to the side and let them drum on our drum while this is going on. So and that did happen. And then in between sets, then quite often we engage with the children or the I can't say audience, because they're just people who are just hanging about or doing something or on the way in or on the way out. So we're not a group of musicians that you have to do it this way and no other way. And you have to arrive at a certain time and you have to leave at a certain time when we have practice. Because people have different things. They have some of the times their jobs run over or they've got personal issues. So we're very flexible in so many ways. And I think you'll see that if you watch the drumming bit. Except that while we went to have some lunch in the little cabin, I was sat there eating my chickpea tagine soup, and someone looked over and pointed at me and said, "I know you." And I was like, "Oh, hope that's a good thing," or something like that. And she said, "Yes, it's lovely to see you. I know you from YouTube, from your channel." And it was a very strange kind of moment, because they've other drum members were kind of ribbing me. Oh, one of your fans. Anyway, I'd like to do a bit of a shout out for Debbie Hill, who has a small YouTube channel where her and her husband Mark knits, Debbie sews, and I'll put the link underneath because there's quite a few Debbies on YouTube, and I asked was she also on YouTube, and she said yes, and but she had 2 subscribers, and I'm just asking, I wonder if we could change that, anyway. So I'll leave a link below, but it was just lovely. We just had a lovely little chat about sewing, but she was saying, but you're not in the right place, you don't live round here, do you? And so, because it's about, I don't know, it's an hour and a quarter drive for us to get to Wigan. So that was just lovely, and it brought things back to sewing, so that's kind of relevant and why I'm rambling on. So as I said, I ordered AO patterns. I'm not going into what I'm doing for the Frugal Challenge. Have volunteered and been kindly accepted so far anyway to be on the vlog tour. The hosts are Crystal at My Social Thread, Adele at Sew for Serenity, and Claire at Stitch Hem Sew. So they are organising it, and last year they didn't do a vlog tour, but they've organised one this year, and there was 1 space left, and it's probable, if I'm still, if they've checked me out properly, then I should be on the 30th of April, which is, I think, the last day of it. That's awesome. So that's a little bit of news, and also for you to be thinking of what sewing could you be doing for someone else. And that's one of the things that I left my video last week with me saying, that I've got a couple of projects to do. I'm smiling because one went wrong. A couple of projects to do that I didn't want to share, and that's because they were meant to be. Well, one became a birthday present from my daughter-in-law, and she had, pointing at you now, I have mentioned before, but I made a set of 3 of these, and 2 of them, I hadn't finished the small one when we talked about it. She really liked the sizes of them, and they were very helpful to her, and they were made in, I'll pop it in, found some more of the fabric in Abercarn, and so I thought, well, I would make her something else, but the easiest and quickest make I could do was a peacekeeper. An example, but this one is a larger one than I usually make. This is the size that you cut out the fabric, and the soft and stable, it's a by Annie pattern. You cut out this, and that's your main fabric, then that's your accent of your main fabric, and then you have a lining fabric, the mesh, the by Annie zip, and coordinating fabric. So you just have 3 different fabrics. You can do it exactly how you want. You can do it in everything in one thing if you want. But I managed to do her a peacekeeper. They're just called peacekeepers, not as in we're always falling out, so we'll keep the peace. So that you can put pieces in and bits of projects, and right, I think I'll make that next time, and I'll use this fabric, that kind of thing. So I did manage to make her one. I will get the fabric. I'll pop in a picture of the finished thing. Right, okay. So I will have popped in a picture of the finished article, but this is the fabric. And I really love it. It may now, because I managed to get quite a large chunk of it in the sale at Abercarn, November, I think, it was the pre-Christmas sale, and it may be turning into a blouse. You never know. It's wacky enough for a blouse for me, so it's a possibility. So I made her one in this, and with the black spot. Well, you'll have seen it, so that's fine. I was really pleased to have done that, but I also had intended to make her kind of flying geese baskets that Minky Kim has many tutorials, and I love watching her, and I love doing her work, and Adam Sews had done a sew along on it, on this particular one with the flying geese that run around the border. But I had a go. It was a practice on some bits and bobs, but this is meant to be all very regular, and I think I need a little bit more practice at doing this because they're all meant to be the same size, and obviously the triangles are neither the same size nor in the same row. But I've enjoyed doing it, and I will carry on doing it. It'll still be fine for something for me, won't it? So anyway, talking about selfless sewing, it is like me making a bag for my niece and a bag for my son and a bag for someone, or a vest top for a friend, or a dressing gown. It's just a case of not always just sewing for yourself. And that's really the challenge. So if you are thinking of making someone something, then maybe you'd want to join in that challenge. Or just even adapt, because it's a very difficult thing, isn't it? Making someone for someone else. They don't recognise how much it may cost, all the ingredients. It's like a recipe, isn't it? Buying the recipe, finding all the ingredients, and then making something for them that maybe they'll never wear. Maybe they didn't really want it. It's checking out and not always respecting our time and energy that goes into things, because how often, if you sew, how often have you been asked, oh, I just wanted a dress for Friday night. It's only a simple one. So I'm going to leave you with this kind of frenetic video of me going on and on about, and not really, well, no, I have shown you some bits and pieces. I need to find what would be a nice blouse for this. There's a lot of people doing the pussy bow blouse, the Ava blouse. And I do have a free pattern from a magazine a while ago that I wondered, would I try it? But for me, if I were to make myself a pussy bow blouse, I have got a pattern that I had intended to use as a shirt pattern. But I'm of the age that kind of my age people wore blouses with a pussy bow when I was younger. My age now. And I don't know that I'd feel like I'm not just an old woman with a pussy bow on it, because that's the category I'd fit in. I don't know if you'll understand this, but that doesn't mean young, vibrant women, or middle-aged, vibrant women, or older, vibrant women shouldn't have a pussy bow blouse. It's the significance for me, I think, that it's, I don't think that's really, I don't know. It's a bit Edinburgh wool shop to me, for me. I've seen loads of them who look lovely in it, but I don't know. So the jury's out on that. Anyway, this is quilting cotton. It's quite stiff, so it would need something quite structured. But it is lovely and wacky, innit? And that is me, really. I'm going to work on some idea for something. The other thing I don't like using cotton for, I don't want to be stood at the ironing board every few days I've washed it. I'll leave you with that thought. Any ideas on a blouse that I could make? I know everyone would have to stand well back when I went into the room, but I'm recording this. It don't matter because you won't receive it till Friday. I'm recording this a little bit earlier in the week than I would normally. I have something unpleasant to do tomorrow, so I don't want to be doing a video after that, and I don't want to be talking about that now. So yes, this has livened me up. It's made me put on some makeup. It's made me, the sun shone earlier, and it helped me to think, well, if I wore that and I just did a little video outside, or ended up sitting, pushing my head back in the blossom, finding a little bit of blossom on a tree that we inherited when we came, and it hardly ever, it will flower for about 3 days and the wind blows it off. Just about 3 of the branches, but it's just come out a little bit more fully. So I thought I'll get a photo with that just to remind me that it actually happened. I'm going to finish there. I've said that about 19 times. Thank you ever so much for watching. I am so thrilled that I've got 700 subscribers. And thank you all of you, and all of you who haven't subscribed yet. If you want to subscribe, it's free. There's no entanglement at all. And likes do that as well. And comments as well, I think. But I love the comments. Now, when people first started commenting, I was, I don't know what to do now, because I want to answer people properly, and then I feel this pressure of, might get it wrong. I'm going to go. Susan at Seaside Stitches signing off from Friday Sews, a little bit earlier in the week, and sending lots of love and enjoyment of sewing to you over the digital airways. Bye for now. Sagebrush top? Yes.